Previously on Vagabonds.
Hey, Jane, did you just need us to, drop you off?
I've grabbed the space equivalent of a thumb drive, and I get a bucket from the mess hall. Are you guys just gonna sit on the ship the whole time, just bored?
We'll
Hey,
see.
I asked you if you needed me, and you said no, so I'm just hanging out.
Hey, Bo, do you think we need one of those suits?
I ain't going in there, you kidding me?
Alright, as long as we're on the same page.
I mean, I'll watch. Something exciting's gonna happen, most likely.
Something seems to sort of appear. This, black limb appears from inside the rat and just kind of claws its way out and then kind of breaks out of the enclosure. And then the video just cuts. I don't know if we can trust anyone with that. If it leaves this planet, somebody could, I don't know what, but it would be bad. And it contains an algae additive that you can, the notes kind of say it was intended to be added to a ship's algae dispenser to make it taste better, and that they managed to make it taste like orange sherbet. Ah, so it's you. You got my stuff?
Oh, that doesn't make you trust you right away. I don't know, that sounds like bullshit to you guys. Can I roll it? Is that a bullshit check? No! You get back here, Bo. What are we gonna do? You're in this too. If we end the world, I want your fucking name in the history book
See,
right next to mine.
there's something called responsibility, and I want none of it.
You guys did some good work here, I gotta say. How do you feel about a race?
A what?
Hey, welcome again to the Roll Less Taken. I am the MC, Graham, and I am again joined by my three buddies.
Hey, I'm Mike. I play Bo, and I'm sick, so we're gonna make a canon that Bo is sick this episode too, and deal with it.
Oh.
Poor sad Bo. I am Megan, and I play Io Jewel, and I really appreciate that gender-neutral introduction there, Graham.
Anytime.
I am Perry, and I play Jane.
So, last time we hung out, you guys were invited to join a race.
Yay!
The race is about a week away, so you guys have got a little downtime before you have to dive into that. And as you may recall, it is expected to take at least a couple weeks. It is a long race from the center of the solar system out to the furthest point, a body that we currently know as 90377 Sedna, but the locals, it is the furthest inhabited point. The locals refer to it as just Sedna. So what are you guys up to for your upcoming week?
Well, I wanted to ask, we have money now.
Yes.
I believe, what did you say, 4,640 credits each?
Yes. That's with Pixel getting a share as well.
What?
Yeah, whatever. If we wanted to buy new items, is there a list of items that we can get?
So the way I figured we'd do that, you can scan an item card, so we can do it that way, and then pick from the list, or if there's anything else, we can sort of negotiate down if there's something specific that you want.
I mean, there is
The item
something
card.
specific that I want, for sure.
I had figured that. What is the specific thing you are hoping to acquire?
I mean, this is the future, so they've got to have, pretty portable flamethrowers, right?
Oh, God.
That is specific.
That is quite specific, yeah. I imagine they do.
If it's available. If it's not, I'll just hang on to my money for now.
If such a thing exists.
Right.
Yeah, I would say such a thing exists. I would put it at probably about, I'd say 2,000, or if you wanted to get it unregistered, untrackable, that sort of thing, you could probably get that for an extra 8.
I'm not worried about people tracking me down at all. Because I have a flamethrower now.
Fair enough.
Not everyone on board has a flamethrower, Bo.
There are many flamethrowers, but this one is mine.
Yes.
So yeah,
All right.
I mean, if possible, that's what I would like to purchase.
I would say you could probably pick that up on, it's military hardware, so you'd probably need to swing by, like, Phobos or Deimos, one of the Martian moons.
Right. Well, we've got a week, so we got time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Anybody else wanted to accomplish anything?
If we're going to be, I guess, heading in the direction of Mars, maybe we should consider a shield module for the ship, especially if we're in a race in case anyone tries anything, or, we get space debris, whatever, something.
Do we just not have shields in general?
Not currently. You've got basically the ship's hull is its shield, but you can also get like an additional shield. I'd put a list of space ship upgrades.
Yeah, I saw that. I just now I feel selfish.
You can buy.
Oh well.
That's okay. I mean, I don't mind buying like a basic shield module for the Vagabond.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
A couple of the other things on here, you can get like repair drones. So if you take damage during combat, you could grab a tractor beam. Don't think you can afford the cloaking device at the moment.
I mean,
No.
if we pooled our money, we could, but
That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys also you stop by one of the Martian moons. You pick up a flamethrower and a shield. Is there anything you're looking to pick up, Jane?
Not really. I think the stuff for the ship has probably got to be top priority. Is there a book about how to race in space that Jane can pick up and memorize?
Space races for dummies.
Yes, it's going to be super cheap. It is it's currently like basically it's an autobiography by if somebody who's actually in the race, whose name is Raoul Chamberlain, and they are, I guess they just call it a rocket setter's dream. They call themselves the rocket setter, and it's got a few tips, but it's mostly just a little self-indulgent. That's only about 10 credits because it's a book.
Do I get
Who
the
cares about books?
do I get the impression that it would did he race this race?
Yeah, he has raced this race before, and he has won in the past.
Do I get the impression that it would be at all helpful?
They might have included a couple of tips.
But do I get
It's
the
going to be a little
would it
helpful.
give me the lay of the race, an idea of what to expect since I've never been in a race? Would it
What
give
to
me an
expect
idea
when
of
you're
what kind of
expecting?
strategies he used?
It's a little bit dumbed down for the
Well, then fuck it.
masses.
Never mind.
One of the other things, you can pick them up at all local space docks, would be those repair drones. Those are 2,800.
Are you encouraging us to acquire
I
some
was
repair drones?
suggesting that because I don't think Perry/Jane has seen the list of upgrades.
The MC seems to be really pushing the repair drone. And I haven't really bought anything yet, so I could get that.
That works.
I will purchase the ship a repair drone.
Excellent. And they do recharge after a little while.
Cool.
All right, so you guys are flying into Mercury now. It is the day before the race starts. You do pick up a news brief. The Trade Guild issued an alert this morning that the gate network is experiencing technical difficulties. There appears to be an ongoing fluctuation in the gate current, which is causing temporary outages at random intervals. Anyone needing to make trips between kingdoms is advised to postpone or seek alternate routes, to keep gates clear for emergency or urgent business. Guild techs are currently investigating the problem. With the annual Sedna Cup starting tomorrow, Trade Baron Hargan Dane noted this could actually impact the race, but he believes this could make it more interesting. The gate system typically helps racers who can afford to make use of it, but this could provide something of a handicap for them.
So this race is like a well-known thing.
It's pretty well known, yeah.
Okay.
So, as you guys are flying into Mercury, where do we find you?
On the ship.
Okay.
I'm in my bunk, looking up any news on updates for the Emperor, and also cleaning and reassembling my gun.
Okay. There are not any news reports. The Imperium News Service has been a little quiet on that front.
Okay.
Have there been any news reports of sudden zombie attacks?
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Woo! Good. So Jane is in her bunk, and she has a black book that looks kind of like a religious tomb, and on the spine is written the Children's Book of the Dead. But Jane has it opened all the way to the last page, and on the last page is a whole bunch of names that are handwritten, and some of which are crossed out. And she's just studying that.
Is that like
Okay.
your hit list? For those of you playing at home, I just got a peace sign from Jane.
And Bo, what you up to?
I am actually sitting in the cockpit, just chilling out with a drink and watching as we pull into wherever it is we're pulling into.
All right, you're sipping like in a space emergency.
It's got 2,000% of your daily recommended vitamin C.
All right, so let's describe Mercury. It's the closest planet to the sun, obviously, and it's the home of a religious order known as the Coronite monks. They are a group of monks who kind of carry on the age-old human tradition of sun worship. Their temple is this massive mobile structure that travels along the equator of the planet, along a massive rail-like structure, and it's so that the temple is always receiving full sun. The rail is also a fast transit system, so the sort of entry protocol is you land on the far side of the planet and then take the fast transit into the temple, which is also where the party that you guys have been invited / roped into. All the structures, there are also like farm colonies and such, and all the structures on the planet are highly UV shielded and highly heat shielded, so you don't like step off your ship and immediately burst into flame. And the other thing you guys kind of know about the Coronites is that they follow the Trappist monk sort of tradition, where they, take the produce that's produced on the farm colonies in the planet and make it into jams and cheeses and wine and beer and all kinds of fancy stuff. And that's become sort of the staple of the local economy.
Is there dress code for this party?
It is, kind of picture the shindig from Firefly.
There are many shindigs in Firefly. Which one are we talking about?
The really fancy one where Mel gets roped into a duel at the end.
So, like, white tie.
Yeah, formal.
That's black tie.
What the fuck is white tie?
Coattails.
Oh.
So, yes, then. I am assuming you guys have all at least one, like, fancy-ish
Absolutely
outfit
not.
in your...
Nope.
So, I was showing up.
Maybe we should have...
I was showing up in jeans and a t-shirt.
And the bomber jacket, yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
Bo is wearing a Snuggie.
Io will not bend to the will of a dress code.
That's fair.
Like, before we even start to go, Bo's just like, hey, what if I send Pixel? I kind of feel like shit. And, what if I send a representative in my stead? Is that allowed?
I think being that it was specified in the invitation that this was mandatory, I think your appearance is necessary.
But, like, did we officially add Jane to our crew roster? Maybe they think there's only 3 of us.
I mean, we never actually offered her a spot. I just figured it was probationary still.
So you 2 can go, and we send Pixel in his casing, and I can stay here and sleep.
I don't think Pixel's range extends that far, Bo.
It is the other side of the planet.
Shit.
From the ship.
It's a small planet.
So
It's true.
put your Snuggie on.
Your formal
Put on your
Snuggie.
fanciest Snuggie.
It's a Snuggie, but it's got a tuxedo print on it.
Ask Pixel for something to knock whatever that monstrosity is out of you.
No, I actually get, like, dressed up. I do have formal clothes. I'm just grumpy about it.
Fair.
Jane also...
Io's not changing.
It's not changing at all. Jane also has formal clothes, but her formal clothes, because obviously she's had to mix in this kind of company before, but her formal clothes, like her regular clothes almost, are basically just like a nicer fabric of priest uniform, but like embroidered. It has some nice like embroidery to make it formal, but since she's dressed as a religious...
A person of the cloth?
Yeah, so she's dressed as a person of the cloth. I don't think she's required to put on a gown.
That's fair, yeah. So as you guys arrive at the party, you are also announced. What are the names and titles you are announced by?
Titles?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, god damn, man.
Whew. Oh yeah, so obviously I will be introduced as Bo Crescenzo, fastest gun in the Seven Kingdoms. Done.
Oh, nice. I dig that.
Just Io.
Just Io.
Yeah. Nothing more. Nothing less.
Sort of like Cher.
Or Prince.
Or Prince, yes.
I haven't replaced my name with a symbol yet, though.
I think there is a symbol for Io.
Perfect.
Like a Greek letter.
There's gotta be.
That's what it is, then.
Jane's title, I guess she'd be introduced as Jane, Disciple of Kissin, Grave Protector.
Okay.
Hey, are weapons allowed at this shindig?
Your weapons are taken from you as you, like, and checked into a thing.
Okay.
As you arrive. So nobody in there is armed.
Okay.
Jane checks her teddy bear.
Okay.
Oh, no.
It's a weapon.
I wouldn't put it past Jane.
She brings it with her, and then she checks it with the rest of the stuff.
So as I said, for the party, kind of picture sort of that style of from Firefly. It is under the main dome, so you can basically look straight up and see the sun, but it's, of course, filtered so you don't go immediately blind.
Perfect.
There are, waitstaff kind of wandering through with hors d'oeuvres and glasses of coronite wine, and there's a, row of buffet tables around the outside of the area that are got, finger foods, all with coronite jam and, Mercurian local produce. And you guys are sort of deposited in a corner of the round room, at an empty table, sort of off towards the side. You kind of look around, and the nearest tables you sort of notice have got other racers who you recognize from some of the the press around the event and some stuff that Hargendane sent to you guys before you arrived. The one table that you notice is kind of basically surrounded by these heavily scarred people who've all got empty holsters at their hips and or across their backs. And they're kind of standing, cross-armed and, glowering at people who approach. And sitting down at the table with some more similarly battle-scarred folks is a man you recognize as the pirate Moloch, who calls himself the Dread Pirate Moloch. He's carrying on conversation mostly with the people in his crew. There are a handful of tables kind of next to him that have got Raoul Chamberlain, the person we talked about earlier, along with somebody you recognize as the mercenary Willie Dustus, and a woman who you recognize as Ray McScriff. Willie Dustus is sitting down and looking extremely bored, and every time somebody comes over, you almost can hear the conversation. "Oh, so you're a mercenary. That must be fascinating." And then she shoots looks at her crew that are just... she wants to either kill or run away, and she's not sure which. Ray McScriff, based on the things you've read, sounds kind of like, not that this was printed anywhere, but it sounds kind of like she basically bought her way in and then hired a crew that's going to help her win. She is the daughter of a Uranian politician. And then Raoul Chamberlain is, of course, eating up the party, just having a wonderful time, and Ray also kind of looks like she's having a good time as well. Next to them is a fairly empty-looking table with one man dressed in sort of lower-level trade guild clothes. He kind of dressed the same way as Hargendane, but is looking, looks like he's at a lower level. People are kind of stopping by and chatting with him. You recognize him as a man named Todd Gonzalez, a low-level merchant who's really trying to, pick up his trading game by winning the race. And finally, next to you, there is a table just packed with Coronite monks, most of who look very uncomfortable. They're some of them are staring up at the sun in silent prayer. Some of them are reading through their books. And at the head of the table is their captain, who you recognize as Brother Anatol Luz. Who do you want to talk to, if anyone? Or are you guys just going to sit down and snack?
I think Bo probably doesn't take any food, but he'll take a double shot of whiskey and a cup of hot tea and just sit at the table and something be like, yeah, I don't want to talk to anyone. So you can go mingle if you want, but yeah, you two mingling. Anyways.
It's like a homemade hot toddy you've made yourself.
Yeah. You guys can go talk to people if you want to. I imagine that'll turn out really well. But I'm going to stay here.
Jane probably stands by the hors d'oeuvre table but doesn't say anything, and puts on her best "no, I'm not the guy you think I am" face. And sort of casually schmoozes with people who happen to walk by.
You do get asked by a passing journalist whether you are Esford Kane, and he accepts your response that you are.
It's Esford Cade there.
Esford
DM.
Cade. Sorry.
It's fine.
I should write that down somewhere, maybe. Io.
I imagine with my upbringing, I'm very well versed with this type of party, this type of scene, and I want nothing to do with it, or the manners, the pleasantries. I'm just going for the first glass of alcohol that I see, and I just start drinking excessively. As someone walks by with a tray of something, I'm just grabbing 2 more glasses. And then I'm also observing the people around us to see, what's happening, what they're doing, what the interactions are like.
So you did notice already the mercenary who looks extremely bored, and the 2 sort of luminaries who look very pleased. Todd Gonzalez is kind of getting up and mingling a little bit as well. It looks like he's shaking hands, he's networking. You would recognize that. Yeah, I think that's more or less what you're noticing. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
No, I'm just trying to get a feel of the crowd.
Okay.
Look to see if there were any familiar faces to me, and just keep to myself until I decide otherwise.
All right. After a few minutes, there is a journalist who kind of wanders over and sits down at your table and just starts interviewing you, Bo. Trying to get some information about your background, about your, why you joined the race, what you're hoping to accomplish, all that jazz.
The prize, what's the prize for the race again? It's just basically a lot of money, right? And there was something else?
It's a gate pass.
The gate pass.
And there is a cash prize as well.
So, yeah, I'm basically obviously the goal here is to win. Second place is first loser, all that good stuff. Yeah, I just want to make my life easier, and people that say that money can't buy happiness are full of shit, because I can think of, I'm pretty sure all of my problems would be solved with enough money. And also the gate pass is pretty nice too.
He kind of looks at you for a second and goes, "Are you sure you're not part of the trade guild?"
1 second. And I pull out my wallet and start rifling through it. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm not part of the trade guild. I don't have a card.
I got a Best Buy card here. I got a library card.
I got an all-you-can-eat pasta pass. But,
No trade guild, though.
Huh.
No trade
He
guild.
writes that down. He's like, and how about your crew? How did you meet them?
Io and I met on some drunken escapades. Don't take that sounds pretty bad in context, but don't take it out of context either. We worked together previously and decided that we made a pretty good team. And as for our newest addition, she took us on for a job and decided to stick around, and we're too terrified to tell her to leave.
He kind of writes all this down. He goes, all right. He asks a few questions about the ship and just, some other stuff. And he kind of walks away, and you hear him mumbling under his breath. It's like, well, that's going below the fold.
Rude.
Cool. And after a few minutes, you guys notice Ray McScriff, the Uranian official's daughter, breaks away from her group and wanders over to your table and just plonks herself down, looking as though she has been there the whole time, and just says, "So, folks," to all three of you, because I'm assuming at this point Io and Jane have kind of wandered close enough. She goes, "So, tell me, you three seem interesting."
Not to, like, completely contradict you, but I'm going to completely contradict you. Jane is not at the table. Jane has no intentions of joining the table. Jane
Fair
is
enough.
off, like, she's found some guy and, like, cornered him with, like, near the bowl of punch or whatever, and she's just, like, boring him to death with a long lecture about Renaissance art.
Okay. Io, do you want to join the table?
Yeah, I would say after acquiring a large amount of alcohol, I decided to sit with Bo.
Ray McScriff has joined you. She's sat down and is just sort of loudly asking, or saying, "You seem like an interesting group. What are you, why do you think you're going to win this one?"
And Io just kind of leans back and cocks like an eyebrow and just stares at her. Actually, I'm going to add to that, what makes you think we won't?
Oh, that's a fair point.
This is going great.
This is going great. She goes, well, sort of changes the subject on her own conversation and goes, "I'll be honest, I feel like the SpaceNet interviews haven't really gotten my true purpose any credit. I'm really here to try and promote some tourism to Uranus, especially after my mother completes her project." And she sort of looks at you expectantly.
So you joined the Great Intergalactic Space Race to promote tourism.
Yeah. Have you been to Uranus? It's a lovely planet.
I'm trying so hard to not be immature here, but I feel like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fly a banner behind your ship? Like, I don't understand your goal here. Oh, okay. Let me take that back. I understand your goal, but how the hell are you going to achieve that in this race?
I figure if people have heard of the Uranians and see that we're capable of having a wonderful time, then they'll stop by. And they'll check out the new Hollow statue that we're designing.
Why didn't you just do traditional advertising? You know, buy some ad time on a popular podcast, perhaps. Or, I don't know, go to McDonald's and ask for a sponsorship.
I heard celebrity endorsements are big these days.
Oh, if I become a celebrity by winning the race?
I'm trying to decide if the character doesn't understand celebrity endorsements or if Graham doesn't understand celebrity endorsements.
I think the character, but possibly
You would
both.
say that.
Just to clarify, Graham, this would be, you said, the daughter of the ruler of Uranus?
Of a high-ranking politician.
Okay, alright. Alright, just wanted to be sure because, you know, things and stuff.
But she does go on. She's very eager to talk about this project, and so she basically, without being prompted, goes on to say, "My mother, Dame Avril McScriff, is in charge of this project to redesign the Hollow statue that looks out over the people as a symbol of his strength and love. It's our leader, Father Sky."
Oh my god, did you say your mother's the dame?
Yes.
Great.
You know her work?
I, know a thing or two.
She's trying to help Father Sky rebrand a little bit. People find his current statue a little bit dour and intimidating. Some have even said threatening, but everybody knows that Father's a lamb. The image is all wrong. He's not the type of father who'd ground you for coming home late after curfew. He's the type of father who'd sit you down with a mug of cocoa and explain how the curfew exists for your protection.
I mean, the fact that he's depicted in the statue holding a severed head does really mar his reputation, I would think.
Well, you need to know that your father can destroy his enemies for your protection. But, like I said, we've decided to rebrand. Unfortunately, because it's a hollow statue, it's easy. It used to be stone, but a while back, some unlucky hooligan accidentally crashed their ship into it. And so we had to rebuild it with this fancy light thing. It's beautiful. You should come and see.
So all you need to do is reprogram The hologram.
Well, you have to design it first, but yes.
And how difficult your goals just seem a little small-sighted for trying to win this race. I don't see how the two coincide. I'm gonna be honest with you.
And I mean, really, how does one paint a totalitarian police state in a different light?
By making him open-armed and smiling.
Maybe it's a good thing someone took out that statue.
I wouldn't... Well, it did give us the opportunity to make the hollow statue a reality. Well, darlings, you simply must come to the launch party. And she basically, without saying anything else, just gets up and leaves.
And there are many other places I would like to be.
She is not gonna win this race.
Hey, Bo?
Uh-huh.
Remember that time I told you that, we can't go back to Uranus?
No.
Oh, well, we can't go back there.
I mean...
Ever.
She did not paint it in the most positive light. I have no motivation for that, so I can agree with that statement.
Wonderful. And I appreciate your lack of questioning.
That's part of why we get along so well. We don't ask each other questions.
Alright. So as you're, Jane, as you're kind of finishing your tirade on Renaissance art, out of the corner of your eye, you notice the table that has Moloch and the rest of the pirates. He gets up, and they kind of part, and they all sort of make for the door, but before they do, he swings past you, and just puts something in your hand and leaves, without saying a word.
Is it sticky?
It's a piece of fabric.
What kind of fabric?
It's just canvas. It's folded up, though, so you can't see the whole thing.
Okay.
There doesn't appear to be anything inside it.
Does anybody see him do it? Did he do it in a manner like, don't let other people see this?
He was not trying to hide it, no.
Okay, I unfold the canvas.
At the top of the canvas, you see the word Vagabond, and then sort of in the middle, there's just a splotch of black ink.
Does the canvas look like it was ripped off a jacket?
Is just like a piece of canvas.
That says Vagabond.
Yep.
That's already the name of the ship, right? We know that?
Yeah.
Alright, I walk over to the table, to where Bo and Io are sitting.
Bo is sitting, at the table, and he's just got his head, down on the table, and his hands are, at his side, and he's not asleep or passed out or anything, he's just not well.
So Jane, up to this point, was just sort of, chatting amicably, and, her hands are very animated, and then after the interaction with the pirate, she, looks at the cloth for a little bit, and then, crumples it up, and then, her movements become much more stilted and less open, and she walks over to the table, and she just, drops the canvas, in front of Io and Bo, and just goes, I think that's yours, and then leave.
Io looks at the canvas, and you said it says a Vagabond, and there's just, a splotch?
Yep.
Io looks at the canvas, and then at Bo, and, she says, I know I might be a bit tipsy, but that looks nothing like our ship.
Oh, is that supposed to be one of those Rorschach? Man, what are those called? Those ink blots that,
Rorschach?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
you look at them and you're like, that's a butterfly, or that's death, or a crab. No, that does
Knife
not
fighting?
look like our ship.
Another crab? Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe she just felt like drawing? I don't know. What is this?
You actually do recognize it, Bo. Or Io, sorry. From your privateering.
Ooh.
It is a pirate sort of tradition. It's called a black spot, and it is basically, it says that you're marked for death.
Oh, okay. That's when the sober kicks in. So Io picks up the canvas and it just stares at
and
it for a
turns it
moment.
over. Oh,
Yeah,
it was upside
I
down.
flip it around a few times. I kind of spin it and hold it away from my face and then pull it up close and then I drop it immediately. Oh shit. Bo, do you know what this is?
It looks I mean, to me, it kind of looks like a dachshund.
No. I mean, I can see it, but that's not right. We're in trouble.
When are we not in trouble?
Yeah, but we're in somewhat serious trouble.
When are we not in somewhat serious trouble?
Alright, fine. I guess this might not be anything new and that we haven't dealt with before, but someone has marked us for death, Bo.
And Bo reaches into his pocket and pulls out, like, a little notepad. And writes it down. It's like, alright, that's like the 17th one. I mean, I guess at some point I gotta start getting worried about this, but I'm just not feeling
Business
it.
as usual.
Yeah.
So Io is sitting with her feet kicked up on the table. Very casual, comfortable.
Do we know who gave this to us?
That's what I'm going to find out. Io stands, and I'm scanning the room for Jane.
Jane is, like, in a corner with nobody else in it, and her eyes are kind of rolled back in her head in a way that you recognize, and she's talking very softly and sort of hunched over. You infer that she's found a nice dead person to talk to.
She's doing that weird thing again, Bo. What is that? What is that?
Do you mean Jane's weird thing of, like, existing?
Aside from the usual, the standard, is she talking to herself or someone or something? I don't know.
She sees dead people, you know.
I don't know. Anyway, I was going to head over to Jane to see if she can get some information as to who gave her this and where it came from.
So Jane, you have been chatting with a recently deceased monk from the Coronites who's just chatting with you about, various depictions of the sun throughout old Earth history art.
Jane is mostly listening, and all of her, like, questions or answers are monosyllabic.
Io walks up behind Jane, disregarding that she seems kind of focused on whatever it is that she's doing, and just slaps a hand on her shoulder and goes, so Jane, where did this thing come from?
Let me be clear. You sneak up on Jane?
No, I'm not trying to sneak up. I just make a beeline for Jane, and I'm just ignoring what you're doing. I don't care that it looks like you're kind of in deep thought and concentration.
Okay. Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So, Jane would probably throw Io over her shoulder to the ground. What kind of roll is
Can
that?
I counter that?
Yeah. So I'd say both of you make a stones roll, and whoever gets higher...
So do I get, wait, let me pull up my character sheet. Do I get advantage or whatever for Grave Protector?
I think, yeah. I think, because you're basically good at hand-to-hand, right?
I am,
so, yeah,
to
I think
quote,
you do.
master at hand-to-hand combat.
How good are you at hand-to-hand combat, Io?
I mean, I've been training to fight most of my life. As well, I'm stronger and quicker and sturdier than human beings elsewhere in the solar system.
Yeah, so I think you also get 4
Okay.
to roll. And you're rolling for stones.
I have 1 stone and a weave, another weave, and another stone. So 4 successes?
Okay.
I think I only got 2. The stones is the brown one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the purple one? Gales. Okay.
Gales.
Yeah, I only got 2.
So yeah, you sort of make the motions to flip Io over your shoulder, but Io's been trained for this and kind of manages to sort of wriggle out of your grasp.
And then,
so
Jane,
sort of
and then Jane turns around, goes, oh, it's you.
Yep.
What's up?
Just me. Where did this come from? And I hold up the canvas sheet in my hand.
Pirate.
Pirate? What pirate?
She points to the door.
Where? What? Why are you not more helpful, Jane?
Jane shrugs.
So a pirate gave you this and went that way.
Yeah.
Were they leaving? Did they say anything? What did this person look like?
Guy from the race.
A guy from the race. There are plenty of guys in the race, Jane.
Jane kind of looks at you and sort of gets a little more, like, uncomfortably close to your face.
Mm-hmm.
The pirate in the race. I don't like you. And then, like, starts to walk away again.
I don't like you that much either, and I think you're fucking crazy. And
You do know that there's a pirate in the race.
But is there just one pirate?
Yeah, he's pretty much the only real, like, avowed known pirate who's in the race.
What was his self-appointed nickname?
The Dread Pirate Moloch.
I'm storming after Jane, and I go to grab her again to stop her.
You gonna let that happen?
Yeah, so Jane's... How far out of the corner did Jane get?
I think you got a good couple of paces away.
Okay, like sort of more towards the crowd?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jane just turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
I don't understand you.
What do you mean? Hey, what are you holding?
This, you gave me this!
Oh.
Who gave it to you?
Did I not tell you already?
Oh, Jane. I don't understand why we kept you on.
I don't... What is it?
This, and I'm holding up the canvas. This splotch here that I thought was your interpretation of our beautiful, beautiful ship.
Oh, I'm not much of an artist, but go on.
I thought that much. Anyway, this is a mark on us. Someone is after us, Jane.
What kind of mark?
We're marked for death, Jane.
By what?
I don't know! You're not helping at all.
How do you know it's a mark for death?
Because I know things, Jane.
Okay.
I've seen some stuff, and I've met some people, and this is not
Well,
good.
is there a specific kind of people who use this sort of mark for death?
Pirates, Jane?
Oh, well, then I would hazard a guess that the pirate gave it to me. Your deductive reasoning skills really leave a lot to be desired, Io.
Oh, I really don't like you at all, Jane. I'm going to leave you in a room alone with Dr. Parsnip one night.
I would not enjoy that.
I know.
What are you...
I
Why
know.
are you so worried about the mark of death? Do you think the pirates are gonna kill us?
I could only assume, Jane.
Well, that sounds inconvenient. We'll just have to keep an eye out.
Oh, Jane.
What do you... What do you want?
Go back to talk to... I'm leaving. I'm going. I have a headache.
No, wait, I want to come
and
with
it's
you.
not from the alcohol.
Jane starts talking about Renaissance art and, like, following Io back to the table.
Io is actually going to head in search of our dread pirate friend.
He's basically waiting for the next of the, like, trains back to the space dock on the far side. You kind of find him in the, like, train station, I suppose.
Okay, and I would recognize him upon seeing him, right?
Oh, he's been wearing a big fancy pirate hat the whole time.
Of course he is.
He's very in tune with his pirate self.
What is his name again?
Moloch.
All right, let me. I'm thinking here. Io has something sarcastic to say, I'm sure.
He's definitely a pirate that you've heard of. He's got like a bounty on his head, but he's an invited guest of the Trade Guild, which is why he wasn't arrested when he landed on the planet by local authorities. And he captains a ship called the Revenge.
Okay.
Because he's really into pirates.
I'm not even going to try to be like discreet or sly or sneaky about it. Io's just going to like go at him, shouting, "Hey, Moloch! You know, self-appointed nicknames don't do anything for your credibility."
He just kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh."
What's the deal with this thing right here? And I pull out the canvas note.
He sort of looks at it for a second, and he looks at you, and he sort of goes, "It was advice. I advise that you pick your favorite god and pray to them."
And why would you offer us such a kind and generous warning, Moloch?
Because I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
I assure you it's nothing personal.
Is this your own, self-appointed mission?
I wouldn't say that, no.
So who did this come from? And why are you after us?
I don't really see any reason to continue this conversation. He sort of turns around and continues to wait for the train.
I think this would really infuriate Io, so Io reaches for his whatever he's wearing jacket to flip him around, and I just want to try to punch him right in the face.
As you do that, though, his entire crew, basically is on you while you're sort of pulling your fist back.
Can I fight against the crew?
You can, but they did stop and pick up their weapons. I don't know if you did.
Oh, definitely not.
So you have at least a few laser pistols in your face right now.
That's quite all right.
All right.
Aware of what's going on.
You're gonna go,
or it's just like in a different area.
This is in the sort of ground of the temple. It's in a different area at the moment. So unless you followed her down, and Jane, did you follow her all the way down?
Yeah, I just assumed I was talking about Renaissance art the whole time. I'm probably still talking about Renaissance art.
I don't want to metagame it, so no, I did not follow them down. Because I've just
Okay.
been zoned out at the table this entire time.
You're like checking your like iPhone pod space device.
Space social media.
All right. So meanwhile, down in the station, you are going for the punch.
Oh yeah, I'm going for it.
All right. I will have you roll for it.
What would that be? Would it be stones?
That would be stones again. Yeah.
Okay. Can I take 4 because of my background?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
I'm just going to draw a card quick and give you a number. I don't actually have a card for stones, so it is a 1.
There's a 1. All right, I got 2.
So you successfully punch him in the face.
Perfect.
Congratulations.
Did I knock his stupid hat off?
Oh yeah, it went on the ground.
Wonderful.
And at this point, his crew just kind of busts in, and it's a crew of like 10, 15, people. So they just kind of separate the two of you, and they're still waving their guns in your face. And he just kind of looks at you and picks up his hat, and he goes, "Well, now it's personal and business."
I am not afraid of you.
Well, that's fair, but I have killed quite a few people before, so this is really just a Tuesday for me.
You know, you talk a big game, Malik, but you don't do anything. You have all these men to do your bidding.
Well, because they know that I will beat them up if they don't, so it's great. You should consider that sometimes.
You're nothing without your crew, Malik.
The train arrives, and he just sort of stares you down while it pulls in and the doors open, and he just walks on still staring you down. And then his crew filter in after him.
I still try to charge at them.
All right. You can do a Gale's check if you want to try and get on the train with him.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it. I got 1.
I was going to make it a Gale of 2.
Okay,
So yeah, you don't actually succeed.
that's okay. It's probably
The
for
door sort of
best.
closes on you, and you whack into the side of the train.
Okay. And I flip him off,
The train rolls away, and he just sort of continues to sort of stare you down.
and I stare right back at him.
And Jane, what are you doing this whole time? Still chatting about Renaissance art?
Yeah, I come over and like sort of try to help Io up off the ground, but the whole time I'm talking about like Botticelli and like like his life's work and like his ugly paintings and his pretty paintings and
I just I dust myself off and just give Jane a look and just walk back into the I guess the hall where the party is.
Yeah, you kind of climb in. There's an elevator, so you're in there for a few minutes, not a few minutes, for 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, just silently stewing.
While Jane continues to tell you about Botticelli, question mark.
Yeah.
yep.
Anything else anybody wants to accomplish before they leave the party? It is starting to get on for night, and you are seeing a couple of the other racers are getting up and wandering out.
Is the mercenary still there?
Yeah, she is.
Would they know anything about the death mark?
You're welcome to ask.
Do they look like they're okay? I guess I want to observe the mercenary to see what they're doing. If it looks like a good time to maybe have a conversation with them.
Sure, she's just again just kind of been politely chatting with people and then shooting bored looks at her crew basically the entire night. So there's going to be an opening basically for you to wander, slip yourself into the crowd of people who are trying to chat with her.
I'm going to head over to the table. I'm not going to sit down right away. I'm just going to place the note, I guess we'll call it, in front of her to see if she acknowledges it in any way.
She sort of finishes up the conversation with the person and goes, "Yes, it was lovely to meet you as well," and then kind of looks down and goes, "That doesn't look good."
You're telling me.
Yeah, who'd you piss off?
Captain Asshole with the feather hat?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Any idea why you might be after my crew?
If it's personal, it's because you pissed him off. If it's business, it's because somebody paid him.
What if it was business and then someone happened to piss him off?
Probably somebody paid him and then somebody happened to piss him off then.
Without going right to the source, can I find out who paid him?
He's not a registered mercenary, so I don't think the contract is going to be in our system or anything.
So nothing legitimate then.
Probably not. That would be my expert opinion, I suppose.
Should we be as afraid of this asshole as he says we should?
Have you seen his ship?
No.
I mean, he calls it the Revenge, and not for a terrible reason. It has a lot of weapons on it. So he can get revenge if he wants it.
Wow.
It's a dumb
Original.
reason. He also keeps talking about how it was the name of a famous old Earth pirate ship. He has a library card or something. He's kind of an idiot.
Kind of? Really?
He's a violent idiot, but he's still an idiot.
They're the worst.
I know.
I appreciate the help.
She nods. This is probably the most interesting conversation I've had all evening, but it hasn't been that interesting. I bid you farewell, and I wish you luck tomorrow. She kind of gets up and kind of looks at her crew and starts to wander out.
Likewise, and I just give a wave with my robotic arm.
She sort of looks at it and goes, like a, not bad face.
And that's that. I'm gonna head back to the table with Bo if he isn't passed out.
No, I'm not passed out.
I'm probably at the table, like, sitting uncomfortably close to Bo, and I'm like, did you know Donatello was overrated?
But he was the one that did machines. He was always my favorite turtle.
Yeah, he had like the sweet katanas, right?
Oh, he had the bow. Come on.
What turtle?
I just wanted to hear you say it, Bo.
I mean, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon would be archived somewhere.
Yeah, for someone obsessed with Dead Earth.
Oh, would I know that? I don't know, I just assumed I had a lot of history, but not necessarily pop culture.
I mean, pop culture becomes history, right?
Yes. Alright, fine. Oh, that turtle.
But at the same time, you are welcome to assume that it was like a weird fever dream that you just, like, response from Bo. He starts talking about turtles, and you're just like, you need to go home and rest.
So you come back to the table at this point?
Yeah, I head back to the table with not a lot of information. I mean, more than we had when it started. So I look at Bo and go, this hit may have gone from business, shall we say, to something a bit more personal.
What did you do?
Oh, she totally punched him.
Why did you just let me do that if you were paying attention?
You looked like you wanted to punch him.
I guess I can't be that upset about it.
I'm more interested in who paid him to come after us.
I don't particularly know if anyone is after me at this very moment. I got a favor that I can call in, but I'm trying to hang on to that, when I get myself into like a really sticky situation.
Didn't we just kill some pirates?
Yeah, but you can't assume that all pirates are friends, There's probably someone.
Not all pirates are bad.
Well, I've met exactly 2 crew of pirates, and so far they both suck pretty hard. But maybe those pirates knew some other pirates who knew these pirates.
Are we?
Gene.
No, we're mercenaries. We're not pirates.
I'm an archaeologist.
Gene, where was this initiative and thinking when I was asking you questions earlier?
When were you asking me questions?
Oh god, Jane, why? Why?
Jane just, drinks something. She, takes a drink. She looks like she doesn't know what's going on.
So yeah, the party's continuing to sort of wind down. More and more of the crews have kind of wandered out. Anything else anybody else wants to do, or you guys want to go back to the ship?
Guys! Psst.
Why are you whispering?
Guys. Hey.
No, why?
Yeah, Jane?
Can we leave? I miss my teddy bear.
I guess. Fine.
Alright, Jane bounces.
Bo walks out and, pockets some of the finger food.
In some space Tupperware?
No, he just shoves it in his pocket. There's no Tupperware involved.
Alright. It is probably the fanciest food you've had in a while, because it is not algae.
Right.
So the next morning, you guys have had a good night's sleep on the ship, and you sort of head out into empty space at the starting line of the ship. You see the other crews. There are probably about 20 or 30 other racers, including the ones who have parked basically nearest to you, the ones that you met last night. Dread Pirate Moloch aboard the Revenge. Raoul Chamberlain aboard the Macra Sprinter. Mercury. Willie Dustus, the mercenary, aboard the Peregrine, McScriff captaining the Panjandrum, Todd Gonzalez on the Packrat, and finally the team of Koronites, led by brother Anatoly Luz, aboard the Amaterasu. And at the sort of in his ship, at the starting line, kind of marking the starting line, is Hargan Dane from aboard the July's Escape. And he kind of syncs up with all of the racers and kind of gives you guys a little motivational pep talk about, how great this race is, and it's honestly just bullshit. And then he starts counting down and getting ready to start the race. From Megan, Mike, Perry, and myself, thanks for listening to another The Role Less Taken. Thank you also to E57 for letting us use their song Stroke from the album Heavy Seas and Smashing Skies. Be sure to check them out wherever fine music is found. You can also check us out on social media. We are on Facebook as The Role Less Taken. We're on Twitter at Role Less Taken. And we're on Instagram at The Role Less Taken. Come and check us out next week, and we'll see what kinds of scrapes our crew gets into.
I like how we're doing this podcast that's all about improv, and when Perry has to improv, she's like, "What the fuck?" First of all, I just want to say, I know we already, said how we were dressed, but I really wish I had worn a luchador mask.
There's one in your pocket, I suppose.
No,
there could be one.
Not necessary.
It's your race outfit. You put it on when you're racing.